Hello everyone, welcome to the channel here. My name is Scott. I'll be with you today as every time I am. And we're going to work on linking. Linking and putting words together, that's linking. Also the pronunciation of these words, also different speakers with these words, and also a chance for you to practice with these words. I should say it's a phrase, which we're going to work on today. Focuses on linking, also pronunciation, having you listen to different speakers say this phrase, giving you a chance to say this phrase, and putting it all together into one wonderful package. That's our plan. So first off, let's get started. What I want to introduce today, everyone, is the expression, so far, so good. So far, so good. Now, let me just break down the words, so far, so good. I'd like to do the pronunciation on these first. Then I'm going to get into the linking aspect of it. And then we're going to listen to different speakers say the same phrase. Also give you a situation, when do you use this phrase? And also have you say it yourself and practice together. Okay, first on so far, so good, and the pronunciation of it. So you have so in there 2 times. So, which is not difficult for speakers in Japan to make that sound. So, next that's followed by far. Now, be careful on the far because I'm making an R at the end. So far, far. So fa and finishes up with an R sound. Far. So far. Notice my upper teeth touching my lower lip, which is important to make that R sound. So far. So one more time. Good. Pay attention to the vowel sound here. I have good, ud, an sound. Good. So far, so good. Now I'm saying the words separately here. So far, so good. Now the linking on this, I have 2 O's which can link into the consonant that follows it. So far, so good. Far and good don't really link together, but you can do the so far, so good. So often it's used with a little pause in between. So far, so good, like that. So far, so good. Okay, you have the pronunciation of it. So far, so good. And the linking of it. So far, so good. So link those 2 O's with the consonant that follows. The F for far and the G for good. And put a little pause in the middle of it. And ideally, that's what you want to do. So far, so good. Like so. Now, next up, I want to let you listen to different speakers using the same expression, so far, so good. Including myself, we're going to have 5 speakers. So let's listen to an American with a different American, not me this time, with the expression, so far, so good.
So far, so good. So far, so good. So far, so good. So far, so good.
Okay, and next we have a speaker from Canada. Let's listen.
So far, so good. So far, so good. So far, so good. So far, so good.
Great. And it brings us to our speaker from the UK, Wales to be exact. So far, so good. Let's listen.
So far, so good. So far, so good. So far, so good. So far, so good.
All right. And next up is a speaker from Australia. Let's listen to her with this expression, so far, so good. Here we go.
So far, so good. So far, so good. So far, so good. So far, so good.
All right. And next up is a American speaker, which is going to be me. So far, so good. One more time, my part. So far, so good. So far, so good. So far, so good. So far, so good. Okay. Lastly, we have a speaker from Japan. Let's listen to him as he does so far, so good. Let's listen.
So far, so good. So far, so good. So far, so good. So far, so good.
Okay, great. I hope you can pick up the different, differences or some slight differences in the intonation and pronunciation you might have picked up. Also, at the different speeds, that also helps you or, gives you an idea on how this expression can be said. So far, so good. Okay, everyone. Now, the next thing I'd like to do is I want to give you a little bit of a situation. When do we use so far, so good? So, for example, you're working on a project and somebody asks you, how's the project going? And you're having no problems at this point. So you can say, so far, so good. So A says, how's the project going? And you say, so far, so good. No problems at this point. Hopefully it remains that way. So far, so good. How's the project going? So far, so good. How's your day going? So far, so good. It's not necessarily a negative or totally positive idea, but it's a quite common and well-used expression in English. So far, so good. Okay, everybody? Next, I want to give you a chance with this expression, so far, so good. So let's practice together. First, why don't you repeat after me? So far, so good. One more time here. So far, so good. So far, so good. Now everyone respond to this question. How's your day going? So far, so good. Okay, everyone? It's a very good expression to use, and hopefully this expression and expressions we've introduced in the past and expressions we'll introduce in the future will be of value to you. So there's a button below, which is a like button. And if you click on that, it would be great. We'd also appreciate any comments you have and suggestions and requests you may have. There's a comment space down below as well. And ideally, we'd love for you to register to the channel. And it would be great if you did so. So, take the action, hopefully. And you liked what you saw. We'd love to see you back here again. Until next time, everyone, thanks for watching.